If you're about to launch your first Airbnb, stop, because here's the exact checklist that'll save you major headaches and cash.
We've hosted thousands of guests and generated multiple seven figures in revenue on Airbnb, so we've learned a thing or two about hosting.
And today we're going to show you exactly what to do to make launching your Airbnb as easy as possible.
In the next 10 minutes, we'll be walking you through the same 13-step checklist we follow every single time we launch a new property. We'll cover financing, setup, management, rookie mistakes, and so much more.
Every step is based on our direct experience launching multiple successful Airbnbs and some unsuccessful ones. And our goal is that you can learn from our mistakes so you can save time, stress, and money.
And with that, let's start with talking about financing.
So let's talk money first. First category we'll cover is your financial essentials checklist.
And the first step is getting the right financing for your Airbnb. So before we even consider submitting an offer, we lock down our funding. Whether you're leveraging traditional banks, exploring private money, or looking into creative financing, just knowing your exact strategy up front can save you massive headaches and serious money.
We've learned from experience that the terms of your loan directly affect profitability. Interest rates, down payment, and repayment schedules all matter.
The mistake that a lot of new investors make is that they only talk to one lender. We don't get it. But when in reality, you want to talk to tons of lenders if you can. Try and get a better understanding of who is the right lender for your deal.
Because the truth is, different lenders specialize in different things. And that lender you worked with to buy your primary home probably isn't equipped to help you buy your first Airbnb. So shop around.
For sure. And if you want to connect with our go-to lender for Airbnbs, then head over to therealestaterobinsons.com/lending.
All right, the second step is defining and managing your budget clearly. Now, this isn't just about having money set aside to buy the property, it's about budgeting for the actual setup of your Airbnb.
Most new Airbnb investors mess this up so much. They spend all of their money on the down payment, leaving pretty much nothing for the design or furniture and all of the amenities that are necessary.
Let's say you have $100,000. It would be better to buy a smaller property that costs you $50K out of pocket so you can spend the other $50K on setup than it is to buy a larger property that costs you $90K out of pocket, leaving you with only $10K for your setup.
A good rule of thumb is budgeting around $20 to $30 per square foot, and clearly defining your setup budget up front gives you the best shot at maximizing your property's revenue.
And the third step is managing your cash flow. Cash flow isn't just about how much money your Airbnb generates each month, it's about how effectively you manage that cash.
New investors often overlook this and really find themselves strapped for cash when unexpected expenses arise.
For every new property that we set up, we also set up a few accounts. As a baseline, you should always have an operating expense account, a reserves account, a profit account, and a tax account.
And the reason we like to separate our cash across accounts is because it becomes visually easier to see where you stand with your cash flow.
Things get muddled if you've got everything piling up on one big account. Say you feel like you're sitting on a ton of cash. You might be tempted to splurge and buy something nice for yourself. But then your HVAC goes out and you've got to spend $10K getting a new system installed.
If you have your cash sitting in accounts designated for specific purposes, then it becomes so much easier to spend freely.
If you have $20K sitting in reserves and another $5K sitting in your profit account, then paying yourself a few $1,000s is super easy to justify.
Now you have a lot of options when it comes to banking, but our banking platform of choice is Relay.
It's a banking platform that's built for small business owners just like us, and there are 4 big reasons we love Relay.
Number 1, you can open up to 20 accounts, which means you can have multiple accounts to cover all of your properties.
Number 2, you get same-day ACH payments, and this is one that we love, we talk about often, but imagine you have a contractor who needs to get paid quickly, like today, to complete a last-minute repair. With most banks, ACH payments take several days, which can slow things down, but with Relay, you can send ACH payments that land in that person's bank account the very same day. And same-day ACH payments are better than Venmo because you won't hit the same spending caps that you do with Venmo. And because it's tied directly to your banking platform, bookkeeping is so much easier.
Third, Relay is the official banking platform for Profit First. If you're not familiar with Profit First, it's the money management strategy we just described, where you have different accounts for different purposes within your business. And Relay is just really amazing for this because you can set up all of those money moves automatically.
And the fourth reason that we love Relay is that they're giving everyone who watches this video a pretty sweet deal.
Yeah.
When you open and fund an account with Relay, they're going to give you up to a $100 signing bonus. So if you want to use the same banking platform that powers not just our Airbnb business, but all of our businesses and get paid to do it, head to the link in the description of this video.
Before we keep moving, we'd really appreciate if you guys could give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell for notifications. Every new subscriber really does mean a lot to us. We work really hard to provide a lot of value to you guys. So if you're enjoying the content, please hit subscribe.
We've also got a totally free download for all of our subscribers. If you head over to the realestaterobinsons.com/calculator, we've put together a free tool that helps you analyze properties that you're considering buying as an Airbnb.
Last, if you want to join our community of hosts who are buying Airbnbs, check out the link in the description of this video. We offer a pretty crazy guarantee where if you don't buy a property within 90 days of working with us, you don't pay.
All right, now let's move on to setting up your Airbnb for success. The next category for our checklist is your property setup.
We actually have full-length videos on our channel specifically about setting up your Airbnb, and we'll link to those in the description. But look at this as a quick and dirty breakdown of what you need. Because the truth is, setting up your property correctly is so crucial, and it's where a lot of first-time hosts get it really wrong and leave a lot of money on the table.
All right, so first up is choosing the right amenities. Amenities are your competitive edge. We've hosted thousands of guests, and we've learned that specific amenities dramatically boost bookings and guest satisfaction. And really, there are kind of two categories that we group amenities into. You have your basic amenities, and then you have your competitive amenities.
Your basic amenities are the things listed as amenities on Airbnb, but really you'd be crazy not to have them. So things like high-speed Wi-Fi, smart TVs with streaming capabilities, and well-stocked kitchens are just non-negotiables.
And little touches like quality bedding, comfortable mattresses, and basic toiletries would fall into this category as well.
But competitive amenities are things you add to your Airbnb that are designed to have a direct impact on your ability to drive revenue and just compete at a higher level.
These are the things that you put into your hero photo to attract guests as they're scrolling through Airbnb. Could be things like adding a sauna, a theater, a game room, a golf simulator, a gym, a lazy river. You can get as crazy as you like. But in most of the larger, more kind of revenue-heavy markets, you're going to need at least a few of these competitive amenities if you really want to compete.
We already talked about budgeting for your amenities, so this is the step where you use that budget in the best way possible.
Second step in your property setup is deciding on your design and your decor. Now, design isn't just about making your space look good, it's about creating an aesthetic that makes people want to book, and then creating experiences that make the guests who do book actually enjoy their stay.
For sure. Your design can literally make or break your Airbnb. We can both have a game room, but if mine is professionally designed and yours is just an empty room with an air hockey table and TV that your husband thought looked good and needed to buy, I promise you mine will perform better.
So invest in professional design and make sure that every room is designed to meet its full potential.
The third step is to problem-proof your Airbnb before your first guest checks in. We use a pre-go live inspection where we try to test every conceivable part of the home to make sure everything is working correctly.
We'll test every single outlet. We'll check every single burner on the stove, test every single faucet and toilet, and literally just go through the house and make sure that everything is working. And whenever we do this, we almost always find something that needs to be fixed. And better that we fix it before going live than your first guest bringing it up to you.
And the best way to fix a problem is to prevent it from happening in the first place.
All right, the next category for our checklist is operations and management. Efficient operations are the backbone of a profitable Airbnb.
The first step is to be proactive. We talked about proactivity during the launch phase with the pre-go live inspection checklist, but it continues once you're up and running. Schedule quarterly maintenance for your team. Schedule regular deep cleans. And if something is broken or not working, which will happen from time to time, be open with your guests. So for example, we had a guest damage the water slide for the pool at one of our properties. So we proactively contacted all of our upcoming guests and told them, hey, here's what happened. We're so sorry, blah, blah, blah.
The truth is you won't always get a bad review when an amenity is unavailable, but you will almost always get a bad review when a guest expected the amenity and didn't find out it wasn't available until after they checked in. Managing expectations makes all the difference as an Airbnb host, and this is a super important step to make sure you keep your guests happy.
The second step is to use software and automation. Automation is key to efficiency and scaling your Airbnb operation.
Tools like Guesty simplify communication, booking management, and scheduling. Price Labs automates a lot of your revenue management. You can use Schlage to have wireless keypads that automate your check-in process. Automating repetitive tasks allows you to manage multiple properties without getting overwhelmed, keeping you focused on the important things like growing your business instead of getting bogged down in daily operations.
And the third and final step of this section is to learn from bad guest experiences. No matter how proactive you are, challenging situations with guests will always happen.
And sometimes those challenging situations might be your fault. Other times it could just be a particularly challenging guest.
Yeah. Either way, the key is to just learn from each negative experience and adjust your process accordingly. Whether it's refining your house rules or updating your listing, enhancing guest screening, or improving your response times, each difficult interaction provides some valuable lesson to make your operation go even smoother moving forward.
There's a saying, never let a good crisis go to waste. And that couldn't be more true for managing your Airbnb. Every setback or challenge is an opportunity to learn and improve your processes, so don't waste it.
The next category is avoiding rookie mistakes. Every host makes mistakes, especially at the beginning, and we certainly made a lot. So let's go through some of the biggest mistakes we've personally made and exactly how you guys can avoid them.
All right, first is not analyzing a deal correctly. We did not analyze our first couple of Airbnbs. We just bought. And buying based on emotion instead of cold hard data is a common rookie mistake.
Always rely on clear, objective analysis. Run the numbers, double check your market data, and don't let the excitement cloud your better judgment.
Doing your homework upfront helps avoid costly regrets later on. But we see so many new hosts who just assume that since they're buying in a market that they love to vacation in, that means the deal is going to be profitable. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Second is using Airbnb smart pricing. This is another common mistake that we see as people solely relying on Airbnb smart pricing. Smart pricing is easy and convenient because it's built into Airbnb, but it typically focuses on optimizing occupancy instead of maximizing revenue. So you end up with a full calendar, but with very little revenue to show for it.
Instead, take control by using a true dynamic pricing tool like Price Labs. It's a little more work, but if you're in this game to really make money, then you have to do it.
And we've got a discount link for Price Labs in the description of this video as well.
And third is not saving to reinvest in your property. Most new hosts overlook the importance of consistently setting aside funds to reinvest into that same property.
This savings account, separate from your CapEx reserves, gives you the ability to regularly refresh your property, stay competitive, and continuously increase guest satisfaction and profitability. But you can't expect a property exactly as it was 5 years ago to still compete at a high level today because your competition is improving. New hosts are coming in and the bar is continually rising.
So you've got to do the same. Add amenities, swap the furniture, retake the photos. The list goes on and on. But it's easier if you have a bucket of money specifically for this instead of just always trying to pay out of your normal OPEX account.
All right, and the final category is profitability and scaling. And honestly, scaling your Airbnb successfully and profitably requires some clear strategies and understanding of your property's performance. So here's exactly what we've learned and applied successfully. So number one is to understand your revenue timeline. First things first, realize that your initial year typically isn't when you achieve your targeted revenue.
From experience, we've learned it generally takes at least a full year to stabilize your income. It takes time to know how to price your property to really maximize the revenue.
It takes time to learn how to manage your property to get as many 5 stars as possible. And it takes time just to learn the quirks of your property. So don't feel defeated if your first year isn't a crazy success.
Second step, you have to know the critical performance metrics to track. Tracking the right metrics regularly helps you make better decisions.
We always keep a close eye on occupancy rates, average daily rates, and total revenue, but we also track our reviews closely, both the actual scores and the qualitative piece of what's being said in those reviews.
Knowing these numbers inside and out puts you in just a better position to spot trends early and make adjustments super quickly.
All right, guys, so hey, we hope this breakdown was helpful. If you have any questions, drop them in a comment below. We'll do our best to answer it.
But that's it for today, guys. I'm Sarah.
I'm Tony.
And we are the Real Estate Robinsons.